Imagine using taxpayer money to build a mansion to rival the White House. Hi everyone, Ken here. Today we are exploring Quarters 1. Hit that like button to let YouTube know you appreciate historic homes, and let's begin exploring this house. Thomas Rodman's innovations, particularly in artillery design, left a lasting impression on both military and civilian applications. Rodman's journey into ordnance and artillery began after his graduation from West Point in 1841, where he excelled, finishing 7th in his class. Rodman's professional life took a significant turn during the Mexican-American War, although his service there was limited. However, it was his work post-war that would define his legacy. Rodman is most famed for his development of the Rodman gun, a type of cannon that featured several key innovations. Before his work, cast-iron cannons were prone to failure due to internal stresses caused by uneven cooling during the casting process. Rodman's solution was to cool the cannon bore with water while the exterior was kept hot, a method that became known as the wet-chill process. This technique not only improved the durability of the cannons, but also allowed for larger and more reliable guns to be manufactured. The impact of Rodman's work was profound during the Civil War. His cannons, particularly the 15-inch models, became a staple in Union defenses. Rodman also revolutionized the gunpowder used in these cannons. By compressing powder into hexagonal grains with several holes, he enhanced the burn efficiency, which improved the range and power of the cannon fire. His powder design innovations are still reflected in modern artillery and even rocket technology. Despite his successes, Rodman's career was not without controversy. Post-Civil War, he commanded the Watertown Arsenal in Massachusetts, where he faced accusations from a congressional committee regarding his management practices and exorbitant spending after building a palatial mansion with the military's money. Although allegations ranged from employing disloyal workers to misusing government resources, Rodman defended his actions and continued to serve loyally. He was not formally censured, and he maintained his rank and station. In 1865, Rodman was appointed to oversee the construction of the Rock Island Arsenal in Illinois. Perhaps feeling emboldened by his ability to live lavishly before, he set out to build a 51-room mansion, once again using military funding, which would be named Quarters 1. The palatial Italianate mansion would boast nearly 22,000 square feet of living space below its imposing tower, making the federal residence second only to the White House in size. Furthermore, the residence was clad in limestone and heavily embellished with limestone coins, corbels, and elaborate window surrounds. After 18 months of construction, Quarters 1 was ready to host Rock Island's highest-ranking officer. Entering the mansion, we arrive in the vestibule, walking across inlaid walnut and oak flooring. This leads us into the 3-story main hall, finished out with wainscoting and an elaborate plaster cornice. To the side is the grand staircase. Its newel-post lamp has been crafted from bronze and cast in the likeness of a knight in shining armor. But before we go upstairs, we'll peek our heads into the library and then explore the public rooms arranged off the main hall. Directly across the main hall from the library, we find the east parlor, once again flaunting an intricate plaster ceiling. Opposite the bay window, we find the marble fireplace and catch a good look at the details of the oversized baseboards. The next room over is the west parlor, boasting many of these same finishes. Let's head directly across the main hall from here. This leads us to the dining room, with rich wood trim and glass pane built-ins. We can imagine notable guests gathering around the table over the years, such as Charles Lindbergh and a handful of royals visiting the base. Despite its size, the mansion was not designed to have a separate breakfast room, but rather a family dining area in the bay. Let's return to the grand staircase now and begin making our way up to the second floor. Up here we will find the landing mirrored above as below. Each of the bedrooms on this level were originally furnished with handmade furniture, including Eastlake and Gothic influences. Up on the third floor, we could find more bedrooms, or we could take the double staircase at the end of the hall. We eventually wind around to the tower staircase, and while it is 4 stories on the plan, its scale is more equivalent to a 6-story tower. Just as construction was nearing completion in 1871, Rodman passed away and was buried with full military honors at the Arsenal's National Cemetery. Quarters 1 was used as the residence of the highest-ranking officer for 136 years until it was vacated in 2008. While the mansion continues to stand to this day, it requires much-needed restoration work to bring the interior back to its former glory. What did you think about Quarters 1? Let me know down below in the comments section, and while you're there, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode of This House.